What's going on, VidLifters? Hope everybody can hear me and see me okay. Maybe this person too. We are broadcasting live from a Walmart in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I had to race into the city because my AT&T connection out at the farm where we've been staying is just dropping. It'll drop sometimes 10 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe an hour if I'm lucky. So I figured I better get somewhere more consistent. So I am hoping if y'all can let us know in the comments that you can hear me and see me okay. And we will go ahead and start introducing everybody on our panel. First up, I see a Donovan of RV on the Wayside.
Oh, sorry. I wanted to look like you.
Now, how am I looking and sounding like to you right now? Is it? I noticed that I was still broadcasting at a 1080. Okay, I started the intro and it was jittery, and I'm like, uh-oh, that's not good. All right, well, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody who you are?
Oh, I'm Donovan from RV on the Wayside. Oh, you want me to say more than that? Okay. We do videos of our travels, and like most everybody here, we do some how-tos, and we try to make funny videos to keep you entertained. That's our favorite thing to do. Oh, also, I'm going to put in the chat right now the Facebook page in case anybody ever needs help finding where the next show is in case the thumbnail isn't enough. So I'll throw that in there too.
Thank you so much for that. Yep, there will be more information coming out about this Facebook group that was put together for us. We will get more people involved with that in the future. But for now, let's bring on another person of the panel. It is the one and only Steve Turtle with the red glasses.
And a red shirt. I'm
You're
Steve Turtle, and I'm a work camper. I do videos about work camping, but right now I'm on vacation. I'm going to take 3 months off and do nothing. I'm not getting paid, but I'm not doing anything. But anyway, I do videos about work camping, DIY upgrades, adventures, and all that good stuff. And occasionally I'll do a live stream.
You know, Steve Turtle, I've heard that since you're taking vacation right now, I have heard that the percentage of exploded toilets at RV parks is down 10%. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, it's a technique I learned when I was in South Carolina.
Dave, just so you know, I don't have a wrench, so I can't put the link in.
That's interesting.
So maybe we'll do that next week.
I don't know if I can fix that right now.
Yeah, we'll do it next week.
Well, speaking of South Carolina, here is the one, the only Scott McGuire of South Carolina.
Speaking of exploding toilets, y'all, I'm Scott from McGuire's Own Tires. I travel with my family, my wife, and my 13-year-old daughter and my 9-year-old daughter. And we like to make videos when we go places and check out cool things. And a couple of weeks ago, we reviewed one of my videos on this show, and I apologize for punishing you guys with that, but that full video came out today at a state park, and we were at a state park in South Carolina, and I would say because of this really cool live stream that I am fortunate enough to attend every week and learn from, I think it's my favorite video that we've done to date because of all that I've learned from you guys. And thank you for helping us with that. Hopefully you guys are growing. If you are learning from what we're doing in this live stream, type the word grow in the chat right now. If you're learning from what we're doing, type the word grow. Y'all, I'm so excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, I am so excited that you gentlemen are able to be here with me. It's such a pleasure each week to do this. I hate missing it. That's why tonight I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. I'm like, no, I do not want to miss this. So we raced to a Walmart so we can do this. I put the email down at the bottom if anyone is interested in having their videos reviewed by this panel right here. Please send your video link to vidliftinfo@gmail.com, and that way we can have an opportunity to put you on the show, which will give you some extra exposure and then gives us something that we can critique. We learn from some people that submit their videos, and then hopefully some people learn from what we've got to say about them. All right. So without any further ado, why don't we go and start our first video tonight? I believe we are first going to take a look at chasing RV sunshine. Y'all ready? Everybody ready? All right, here we go.
Lake Superior, walking to the ice caves.
Cracking over there. So far, so good. Nobody's fell through. We're about 40 minutes in. Other than the sound of cracking and pinging ice, all's well. What do you think, hon?
I think this is gorgeous. I think it looks a little scary over here because of the ice caves, and I wish we could get closer to the shore, but for safety reasons.
All right. Well, we will do like we normally do, and we will start with Donovan for first on this one.
All right. So I think it's so fun to actually review a video that I watched like a few weeks ago. So I've actually watched the whole thing. So before we'd start doing this, and it was so different doing it for this, which is kind of cool. I should probably be looking this way. Maybe I should run every video twice. I don't know. Anyway, it was neat to do that. Love the camera angles. I mean, they were fun. They were exciting. They made you feel original. I liked a couple of the small little jokes, like nobody's fallen in so far. And I like when you went through the jacket and came back out of the jacket, it was the little thing on the back of the jacket that was the center thing. It made me laugh. So those were good ones. I loved it. Music was great. A couple of the transitions were done at such a high speed that it looked like a camera glitch instead of the bars going across. So you might want to be careful when you adjust the speed of the transitions or the length of them, because it went by so fast. I actually went frame by frame to find out if it was a glitch or not. Otherwise, I would have just assumed there was a camera glitch. And you had like two of those that I noticed, at least during that little bit. You know what? I'll save everything else for later. What do you think, Steve?
I love the scenery. I thought it was really cool. There was a lot of really nice backdrops throughout the video. At 1:22, they said, Deb and Joel here from Chasing RV Sunshine. We're taking you on an adventure today. We're crossing our fingers that we don't fall through the ice. I think that was an outstanding hook and should be moved over to the beginning, because the thumbnail says, danger, cracking ice. You reinforce that with your hook, and then I wouldn't put any walking on the ice until later on down in the video. I'd try to build up to that. Maybe the snowmobile out on not the snowmobile, snow tractor, whatever that was, out on the ice. I think if you sort of played that off a little bit and then followed it up with some of the walking and the cracking ice and all those other clips, I think it would have forced, not necessarily forced, but have people sort of hanging on, waiting to see that part of it, the walking across the board and all that good stuff. I think it would have made an awesome hook. Also, there was some footage in there that was repeated several times, and I think it sort of was out of sequence. And that was the crossing of the board. We crossed the board before we decided to go on the walk, and then we went on the walk and crossed the board. And then on the way back, we crossed the board, but we did it the same way we did going forward. if that makes any sense. But anyway, I think we repeated that too many times for where it was in the storyline. Otherwise, I thought it was a pretty good video. I enjoyed it. I'm still a little bit confused about where the ice caves were. I'm assuming they were where those icicles were, but I don't think we really said that in the video. And then I'll leave the rest for the discussion.
I wanted to comment on that board just a second. Just because something happens in a certain order in real life doesn't mean it has to be that order in a video. And just because maybe you cross that board 3 times in real life, you don't have to cross it 3 times in the video. My wife has told me many times, like, I keep seeing different, we're in the mountains. Oh, that's a beautiful shot of the mountains. Oh, that's a beautiful shot of the mountains. You don't have to show them all. Even if it's the 14th best shot, it's still a beautiful shot of the mountains. Just show it one time. So off of Steve's point there, you don't have to put it all in. I want to focus on the cool effect that you did. It was really cool that those of y'all that didn't catch it, we went in on Joel's jacket. And then when we came back out of the jacket, he had walked by and now we're facing the other way. So the effect was as he's walking towards us, we zoom in on his jacket and then the camera now is on the back of the jacket and he's walking away and we come back out. It was a really cool effect. But because that was the first time we had seen anybody walking straight on, you saw that something was coming. I think you gave that one away. So what you might want to do, if you're going to do a cool effect like that, take whatever is going to be the subject of the effect and put that in a couple other times. Like show Deb walking that way, show Joel walking that way, show both of you walking that way together. And then one of those shots happens to be the effect. So it's not one isolated thing. You're taking one of the things and turning that into an effect. I think that would have made it a little more effective. And to get the whole effect in there, you took a little longer to do that than you did other things. I think if you could have cut some of the beginning off, some of the end off, and made the effect a little shorter, it would have just snapped right by. And rather than going, oh, here comes an effect, there it went. That was cool. It could have been, bam, wait, what was that? And there have been videos where, like something like this, I'll wind it back and slow it down and watch it again just to see. And when you go back and you look at those people's analytics, I'll bet you'll see a spike on those effects. And that's what you want. So don't make it a long drawn out thing. Just put it in there and make people go, wait, what just happened? And if I'm being super, super picky, which I don't have to because it was a really good effect, I like what you did, but to be super picky, coming out of the jacket, I think, I don't know if you went to the second clip of that from the backside. I don't know if you went to that too soon or if something just didn't line up, but what gave it away was the sky on the top left of the screen. Once we're looking at Joel's back, that gave the effect away. So I would either just double check your timing and make sure it lines up perfect, or if the shots don't line up like you want them to, what you can do is put the walking towards shot, a black screen, and the walking away shot, because what you're going to is from the blue jacket, you're going to absolute darkness and coming back out of the blue jacket, and then blur into the black screen and blur out of the black screen. And we'll never notice. We'll think that's the jacket the whole time. But what that'll do is get rid of that sky, and we won't see that it came in at a different time. I don't know if that makes sense, but if that's just what I would say is if your clips don't line up like you wanted them to, you can just use an editing effect, put a background in there. But the first thing I wrote on my paper when I was taking notes, I like it. I don't think I've ever seen Deb and Joel go somewhere that it's not an adventure. I mean, they'll climb down the side of a cliff just to get a shot of a wave. I mean, I really like what y'all are doing. Really great stuff.
Speaking of effects, some people just don't know how to leave me alone. You wanted to be in this show? Is that what's going on? Oh, all right. It's my turn to talk. So why don't you put your hand back, please? Thank you. Yes, the whole family is in the car as we ran out of the house real quick so we could come and get this live stream going. On this video, one of the things that I really love is the fact that they talk about the sounds of cracking ice. And I want to say that I heard the cracking ice. And I'm the kind of guy where I like to go on a bit of an adventure. I like to go exploring places. So I'm sure that when they were there, it was probably an acceptable time to be out on the ice. But just the thought that there was a little bit of danger present kind of added to an intrigue. Like, hey, I kind of want to keep watching this, because what's going to happen? Are we going to hear some more unique noises? And it's because of that, the reason why I've actually wanted to have nicer microphones, because sometimes you're able to capture some sounds that they're almost impossible to reproduce. Like if you can capture the sound of large chunks of ice cracking, that's a sound you're probably not going to find that on any of the sound effect streams or anything like that. It's a neat sound. I would say I didn't find a whole lot that I would have done different. The transition Scott was talking about did kind of bug me. I felt like it just lingered too long on the end of it. Like a lot of times people, they think they need more seconds, and really some of that stuff you could get down under a second. And you think, well, I put all this time and effort into what I just did there. Yeah, but people aren't really there for that effect or that transition. It adds to it. It makes your video feel more valuable, even though they're not really there to see the transition. So I would have cut out of that blue jacket faster. That's what stuck out to me every time I watched the video over and over. All right, well, let's take a look at this video again, and then we will go round and round the table.
Lake Superior, walking to the ice caves.
Cracking over there. So far, so good. Nobody's fell through. We're about 40 minutes in. Other than the sound of cracking and pinging ice, all's well. What do you think, hon?
I think this is gorgeous. I think it looks a little scary over here because of the ice heaves, and I wish we could get closer to the shore, but for safety reasons.
All right. You know, I was thinking too when we came back on that. We often talked about the thirds, using your camera. Everybody always thinks about the thirds on the left and the right? Like there, I'm in the thirds. But when they were showing him walking from the side and you got the beautiful blue sky and the high altitude clouds, a lot of people aren't thinking about the thirds in the vertical, and they had that nailed there too.
That's a great point. We haven't talked about that one, I don't think, on the show yet. So that was a good point. Jacket effect. I know we're not going to beat you up anymore on this, but I gotta say this because I've done it on one of my videos. The way to do it without using a black screen in between, and the way to do it very quickly, is you go all the way into the coat, and when you start again, press into the coat and then come back out, and that will naturally black it out and bring it back in without having to do any fancy editing. So you'll just be able to cut right during the blacks, and it'll look just like boom, boom. And if you have to, you can even put a little warp transition if you wanted. That's what I used. But then it makes it look like you went through you, and I don't think you were trying to do that. But anyway, that's a quick way. And we were talking about the length of some of these things, and that's a couple notes I had. The walk away after the coat could have been much faster. Like I believe somebody else already mentioned it. And when you did the one where you walked all the way across the screen, it felt just a little long, and the way you can make it shorter is just make the shot tighter. So be closer when you come across, and you'll go across much faster. And that way it won't feel so long as you go across that path. Just have the camera and you're just in and out quicker. But loved all that stuff. Sound effects. I got to say, I disagree with you, Dave. Sorry. But if you go to freesound.org, and we've said this before, you'd be surprised at some of the amazing sounds you can get. And I did put in my notes, I would have loved to hear, even if it wasn't the ones you heard, some ice cracking sounds after you said it, just so we could hear what it sounded like and feel what you were feeling. Because I believe that sound, if we got it nice and clear, we could feel what you were, the little tension that was going on as you were walking around on So that's kind of the things I was really thinking about.
Those are great points, Donovan. And like I was saying a minute ago, just because it didn't happen in a certain order or in a certain way, maybe those sounds didn't happen right at that moment, but the sounds did happen. So put them at that moment, like Donovan's saying. I think that's a great point.
Exactly. I think it was a very good point. Sounds bring emotion, and emotion is what you want people to get into when they're watching a video. If they can, from the sound and the motions, if they can feel it, then they'll get more into the video and they'll watch it more. So I thought that was a awesome comment on both your parts.
If there was anything you could have done that I really wanted to see more of, was those ice waves. I don't even know what they're called. I wished you could have got a tighter shot on those because they looked amazing and beautiful. And I haven't been on a frozen lake since I was a kid in Lake Michigan when my family used to go up there in the wintertime at a cottage we had. And those things up close, they're so amazing. I would have loved a tighter shot on those because most people will never see those in their lives. And that was something extremely unique. I would like a nice little shot across some of those because those are the things that are so unique to what you experienced while you're looking for the actual cave part. That thing right there it's like I don't know if you ever saw in the news where the ice comes in off the lake and it's just crushing over and over. That people never see that unless someone shows them. So you had something there I'd like to see a little more of, but I got to tell you, love the video, love the music, and I enjoyed the heck out of that one.
I think I remember correctly that Deb and Joel are both professional photographers. Isn't that correct? I think they take pictures for a living. And guys, you have figured out this videography thing. I don't know if you were doing that before the YouTubes, but I noticed when you were walking, there was absolutely no bounce. And I mean, GoPros are good and gimbals are good, but you've done something else. And I mean, editing software is good, but I mean, it was so smooth. I don't know if you've got a team walking with you on rollers, but y'all got it. Y'all are doing a great job. I'm curious. I'll never see this because it's on your analytics. It's on your the back end of your YouTube. But when you I like what you're doing, but the chunk we just saw was talking B-roll, and the B-roll was beautiful and it had really appropriate music with it. It was really cool to see and to hear. But I'm curious what your analytics tell you during those times. For me, when I look at my analytics during my B-roll times, people skip over that to get to the talking. And so what I've started doing is putting talking with my B-roll because I don't want people to miss that. I still keep the music in, but I put in the narration. So I'm curious what your analytics look like in those sections. Would you hold their attention better if the narrative kept going through there? What, Donovan, Steve, Dave, what do y'all think about that?
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I agree as well. I've liked to do the things where I just show the scenery and the music in the past, and that's something I enjoy. But yeah, the people that are coming to watch YouTube videos, they're coming to hear the talking about whatever it is you're featuring.
I agree too, and I would love to know what kind of snow tires were on that dolly that was following them to keep it so steady. That's what I want to know.
I do believe that there is a place for video and music, but I think it should be, shorter clips. But I agree, when you're talking and showing the scenery that you're talking about, I think that that keeps people watching the video and not skipping forward. And if you just show B-roll in the beginning and then start talking later, they'll still skip it because they don't know you're talking. Oh, I wanted to say something. I had never seen this before in another video. Never ever have I. All the pictures, like in a picture book, and then the picture book would move around from frame to frame. I never seen that before, and I thought that was pretty awesome. I've seen pictures come across the screen in a frame, but this was more or less like a huge picture wall with frames with pictures in it, and it would move from frame to. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. Never seen it before.
I think I've seen that in some like comic book movie type things, since comic books have the different panels.
Yeah,
And it was an idea for transitions in a comic book movie.
yeah, I thought it was different. I liked it. I still don't know what the ice caves are.
Doreen says from Camping Therapy, says she needs a gimbal for her cell phone. Doreen, that was a purchase we made. That was one of the bigger purchases we made, and it was a game changer. They make them. Dave still has to give me a tutorial on how to get mine level like it's supposed to be now that I added my microphone. But yeah, for sure, the gimbal for the cell phone has been a game changer.
Make sure you do get it level, because if you don't, you'll burn out your motor.
That's a big part of it.
It's fighting that way. Yeah, gimbals, they're awesome. I've got the DJI. There's a bunch of them out there. They're fairly cheap-ish.
I was troubleshooting with Scott, and then all of a sudden he just stopped answering my questions. So I guess I thought you were done.
Brother, the last text you sent me was, I'll probably just have to show you instead of talking you through it. So I thought you were done with me.
Oh, man. No, come on. Pretty sure there was another one after that.
Y'all see that? He's checking. He's pulling up his phone.
Yeah. This is like you ever getting tiny hands from K&R Destination. It's just never going to happen.
Up.
It's a lot of talk.
Hands.
Yeah,
I think
like that.
Show. Dave, do you want to join us again? We're still having a show here.
Camping
I talked
Therapist
about adding
is going to buy
extra
a
weights.
gimbal.
You know what? Let's talk about it right now, since we're already talking about gimbals and phones. No, really.
Okay.
I'm going to show you.
Let's do it.
So when you put the gimbal in there, you've got the rubber feet on the bottom and the top. And a lot of times with your apps, you don't know when you're level. And so I like the Moment camera app, which is a $5 app you can buy that'll make your camera on your phone work a little better. And it has a little level in there with the video. And so when it's in there, if you do a little bit of twisting until you get that camera app where it's telling you it's level, because I was struggling with the same exact thing. And that's what it boiled down to. I was buying counterweights and all kinds of stuff, and it didn't matter. The only thing that mattered was just kind of doing a little bit of twists in between the rubber mounts between the gimbal and the phone. And that actually got me to where I was level. And then, like I said, if you just keep using some kind of app, camera app that has something, and the moment when it goes blue, when it's level, it'll go blue on you. And you're like, okay, I'm level. And then I just kind of keep an eye on that. And even as you're twisting and moving the gimbal around, it'll come off level, obviously, and then it'll come back. And I just try to watch for it, get that back to where it's level.
And believe it or not, a tiny little permanent marker, you can mark those spots so you don't have to keep doing that every time.
Excellent point.
I don't care if I have black marker on my phone. It's lucky to even survive half the trips I take it on.
Well, like this plastic type material that, I mean, the Sharpie probably would rub off over time. I might have to redo it maybe once a month, but
if you do it on the outside, take it off, redo it on the inside, that'll never wear away and you'll have it there forever.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a very good point. All right, any more on phone gimbals, or are we ready for the next video?
I'll ask you more after the show.
Okay. All right. Well, next up, we have got the channel RV Tips and Travels. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
My Jolly Rancher.
You are.
Hershey, PA, KOA.
All right. Well, that was a delightful little video. I enjoyed that intro, but I am going to save any critiquing for last. I think Mr. Scott McGuire will go first, if you're good with that, sir.
Yeah, I really, really love this video. This is my style. This is, I enjoy watching it. I like how it's clean. The editing is great. It's smooth. It's neat. I like it a lot. A lot of times when you get to a campground review, it's somebody walking around with their phone going, and here's the bathrooms. Here's where Steve blew up the toilet. I mean, but this is not that. And I like it a whole lot. Now, that being said, I think something at the very, very beginning, you show what's coming. Here, we're going to see the Jolly Rancher. We're going to see the fireworks. We're going to see the RV setup. And then you say Hershey, PA, KOA. At that moment, I was ready to see Hershey, PA, KOA. But then you gave me more. I mean, it was cool stuff. I enjoyed watching it. But here's where we've talked about this before. You got to decide, what is your intent? Are you catering to the person that's searching for Hershey, PA, KOA, or are you catering to your viewer who enjoys watching your travel vlog? Because if I'm just searching and going by your title, and by the way, one of your tags is campground, you're currently number 4 for campground. I mean, clearly people are searching for campground and they're finding your video. But if I'm searching for that, as soon as you said it, I'm ready for you to then talk about it. Because what happened was you gave us, there was another 27 seconds of video and music before you said anything else. But even when you started talking, there was another 10 seconds before you got to the campground review. For me, I really like that 37 seconds, but I think for the intent of your video, I think you'd want to just get rid of that. As soon as you say Hershey, PA, KOA, let's go ahead and get to it. But now, all of that being said, I really, really like your video. Like I said, this is my style. I could sit and watch that. That 37 seconds was enjoyable to me. I don't know that I'm your average viewer, though. I don't know that I'm the audience you're catering to. But if I am, kudos. Great job.
Scott stole my thunder. Now, I agree with Scott. At 36 seconds, when you stood up there and said at KOA campground, I think that should have been your hook. And then all that came after, I'm okay with it. I really like the drone shots, but that before, when you first started off, you were flying up the river, you had the timer, and driving to the campground and the setup, I'd take that out. I'd start right there with that hook up to your logo, and all that footage after the logo. I thought it was pretty awesome. It was snappy. It was quick. I thought it was really good. I thought the drone footage was good because it was, showing the campground. And I'm just right down the road from Hershey. I don't know why you were over there and you didn't stop by to say hi. I don't know. 45 minutes. I could have drove up, camped out with you, drink up your beer. Anyway, I'll save the rest for the round robin.
Well, the thing that hooked me the most was that half a second of sunset. I was like, I got to see more of that. Man, it was so quick. I need to see more of that. I wish that was in the very first few seconds, because I was like, man, the color change completely vamped. All the cool, smooth, great shots, drone footage. It just like, boom, holy cow, what was that? And I wanted more of it right that second. So I was ready to find some more sunset right there. Light humor with the Jolly Rancher right away. People know this isn't going to be a boring video. You already let them know a little bit of fun's happening. The music change after you hit your very quick logo, and I love that you did it that way. I like those short little blurb, just in case you forgot where you were, and that's it. Move right on. But the music change was amazing. When the sound started to drop and you were dropping with the drone footage, I was like, "Oh, this is kind of interesting. We're going somewhere." And I really like that part too. The fireworks, I didn't like, and I gotta tell you, there was glares from the window. I'm almost beyond positive you did a transition in there, a dissolved transition, because the fireworks moved a couple times slightly. So I have a feeling you extended that when it should have been shorter. 1 or 2 pops and you were done. When you went longer, and I think you put a transition there and dissolved into another set, I would have just skipped that. It just wasn't needed, because you're going to show better ones later. And then the fact that you had the lights going by and just a real quick shot of the fireworks and then move on, I think would have been better there. Otherwise, man, I loved it.
Yeah, I'm over here, not over there. All right. That video was a great video. I really enjoyed the transitions, the intro, the music. For me, the video and the music started, was it like 30 or 40 seconds in? To me, that's when this video really started. One of the things that was mentioned, I believe his name is Ross, is the one behind this channel that sent it in. And he was talking about how normally his RV tips videos do better and his travel vlogs don't do as well. And he was thinking that maybe it has something to do with his intro. So I took a hard look at the intro, and a couple of things I picked on. First thing was the film countdown took almost 4 seconds to get past. So if anybody clicking into that video and they're like, why am I counting down like I'm at a movie for an old classic movie? To me, it didn't fit. And then the other thing as well, that from there on in, you've got an intro and you've got a music that I'm guessing is the same kind of music you use all the time, but yet you had clips from where you were at, which was good. To me, that music almost sounded too generic. For me, this video really kicked off after that music ended and the next song started. That song felt more perfect for this video. I think that I probably would have kicked it off with just a quick talk about where you're at and then go right into that portion with the drone footage. I think that a big piece of what helps people when they're looking for like a specific RV park is when they can see that RV park. So like the flyover, it was like this nice romantic look from top down of how this RV park looks. That information can be attractive to watch, but that information also can be very useful. I mean, myself being a newer travel puller, I am very worried about turns, trees, all that kind of stuff. I want to know what I'm getting myself into before I make a reservation at a park. So I love that. I felt like, wow, if I need to see that information, I can hit pause on the video and I can really look at it. Or I can just sit back and I can enjoy that video. So for me, I'm thinking I would take a look at maybe cutting out the music you've been using for your intro, which if anybody knows me and been following me for a while, I have done. I have actually done that. I had a song that I used every time, and I have eliminated that and gone to a fresh song for every video, just kind of building the intro. It takes longer. It's harder, but I think it makes a better video. All right, let's roll this video again, and then we will chat about it in the round table.
You are.
Hershey, PA, KOA.
And we're back. All right. Anybody else have anything to add on that?
I guess I'll go first again. Oh, go ahead, Scott. I'll let me sit back.
Well, Dave was just talking about whether your tips perform better or your travel performs better. And, I think all of us probably do this. We make our vlog type stuff, and then we smatter in some review videos here and there to draw in an audience. What you may want to consider is take this campground review, and like as you're doing campground reviews in the future, put in the vlog stuff, kind of like what you're doing, but like we had a video come out today, and it was basically a campground review of a state park, and we wanted to show that there was a store, and we wanted to show the store. So rather than just B-roll showing some store, it shows my daughter asking to buy a specific item in the store, which is a teaser. It's a hook, because later in the video we show us using it was like the fire color thing. So it was we use it as a teaser, but what we're showing there is the store, and then later there's some vlog element. We wanted to show that it's a great place for riding bikes, so we take the drone up and we show our kids riding their bikes. Well, there's a whole story about the kids discovering a trail, and then they go hiking on the trail. We wanted to show that it's a lake, it's right on the water. And so there's a whole storyline embedded in about our kids blowing up the kayaks and going out and kayaking, and I'm having a conversation with my wife. So we're showing the campground review, and we put in the vlog, and either one you're coming there to see, you're getting it. And if you're coming there for the campground review, you're meeting a family and you're learning about them, and you're going, maybe next time I see a campground review, I'll go check them out because I know that family. So that's a sneaky tip. And I mean, when I look at your channel, you've clearly figured out the YouTubes, but and you're much farther along than me. But that's something you may want to do is take that to, like you showed your precious dog on the train. I mean, there's a storyline right there. Why you're showing us the train, but what was it like getting the dog on the train? Was the dog excited about the train? Make me fall in love with your dog, so that the next time I see you, I go, I want to see Toto on the train again. So that's just Scott's take it or leave it.
I agree, Scott.
I think
Were you waiting on me, Donovan? No, I agree. The analogy that you talked about with the store, it's the emotional part, not the store itself so much as going to the store, the experience at the store. And I think, viewers really relate to that emotion, and you can build that into so many different things. And I think if you can get that, you can draw the viewers and keep them in your video a lot longer. It's that emotional part. Obviously, when you're in the store, you're going to show the store, you show the store. But to plan that out in your head about, you're going to go through some kind of buying, at a store, I think is great. And you can do that throughout the campground, like riding a bike or going down a trail or, rowing a boat. If you can build those things into your story, I think it's going to sell and keep viewers watching your story. I think that's a good point. I felt some of that in this video. I really did. I thought he did a good job on a good bit of that. But it's a good point, and I haven't really grasped all of that. I'm actually trying to figure out how I can get that into the type of videos that I do, which are quirky and goofy anyway, but build that emotion in it. So I'm still working on that. But it's a formula, I believe, that you sort of develop. And then when you do a campground review, you go back to those elements and talk about that campground, but using the same emotions. And I think if you get to that, it's going to be awesome, and it'll tear it up. But yeah, like you said, I think they're doing good anyway. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
I was going to hit up the chat. Is that all right, David?
Yeah.
So in the chat, Steve from Desert Adventures in Arizona said emotion. So yeah, these are called, I like to call these as mini stories within the big story, what you guys are talking about. Having little mini adventures during the big adventure, right? That's what makes good movies. Why not do it in our videos? I think those were great points. I don't do enough of it, so I loved it. Day One Adventures wanted to know what KOA stood for. That's Campgrounds of America with a K. And I did see, and this is what I want to talk about. I did notice he mentioned RV Tips and Travel mentioned it was a zoom in, not a transition on the fireworks. And I saw it that time. And yeah, I just think you pick one or the other. I wouldn't have done the whole thing. But I got to tell you, your filming, your way of popping things in and out very quickly was just, it's awesome. I think you're doing a fantastic job. And I think some of these options that these guys are giving you are building those mini stories.
Whoa, what happened? Okay, so his internet kicked off.
Okay, so
Whatever.
Okay, so
It's some ghost tapped my mute on my mic,
I
and my
get
hands are here, so I don't know.
$2.22 for that. I feel like I should get something.
I think
I
today
get
it's
to
$3.
I get to wear the hat. I get to wear the hat and the.
Yeah, go get that sombrero.
I didn't say okay, so.
No, I did.
No, Steve Turtle did right after you disappeared, Donovan.
Yeah. But I just wanted you to know that what you're doing is amazing, and hopefully these options give you some ideas of maybe trying something different, but you really are making great video. I mean, they feel like movies, and you should keep that up.
So you're saying they're still working to learn the vlog format. David and I have both been talking about that recently, learning the vlog format. And again, I'll say you've been at the YouTubes longer than me, RV Tips and Travels. You have figured you're doing an awesome job. But homework that I was recently given that I would challenge you with is pick your favorite vlogger, whoever it is, whatever their genre is, and go watch your vlogger from a different with a different frame of reference. Pull out your pen and your paper and watch the whole thing with a why. Why did they put that transition there? Why did that thing only take 7 seconds? Why did that one take 12 seconds? Why are they now talking about this? Why did that change so fast? Why was that segment longer? And if you'll watch it from that, I said just a little while ago when we started, the video that our channel had come out today, I feel like is our best video. And that's exactly what happened. I sat down and I started watching, and I watched maybe 4 or 5 from a specific channel with that purpose. I was asking the whys, and that's how I planned out that video. And, you know, take it or leave it. Like I said, I'm new at this, but I feel like we've made a lot of progress, and that is the reason, is because we're asking the whys. So go do your homework and watch with the whys. Ask why is it happening this way, and then see how you can apply that to your vlogs. And all of a sudden, vlogs will come together.
You know, we learned so much and we're making better videos, but man alive, it's just making it harder and harder and more time consuming.
And trying new things, like in every video. It's like the earlier video with the jacket, right? You're learning from the new things you're trying to do. And I think if you stop learning new things, and I love what you said, Scott. I mean, there are times when I watch a video, I rewatch it literally just for maybe I should take notes like we do on here. Because every time I do that, I'm like, holy cow, I never even thought of that. And last week, I was completely like, you guys taught me tons of stuff last week. I was like, these are great ideas, but I didn't know them. And so I just, I think that was a great advice. And I'm going to probably try to do more of it. So thank you.
And full disclaimer, do you see Nikki's last comment there? I put out a video last week that I worked my butt off on, and she's exactly right. We all do it. You're like, oh, this is the one. This is the one. And YouTube's like, no, it's not. Maybe later.
It really does come down to the tags.
Can y'all see this? My daughter is taking pictures of me while I'm sitting here listening to y'all talk and then busting up laugh. Could you see what she did there? Look at those lips.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm not often sitting in
man.
the car doing a live stream with the whole family.
Yeah. Well, what was it? Last week you had K&R in? Or was that the week before?
That was 2 weeks ago, and
Yeah.
that was 2 weeks ago. And K&R walked up and delivered food, and then Jerry Holly and Sherry came and jumped on me right before the end of the show.
The whole meetup, yeah.
Yeah, you're getting a reputation, Dave.
As the troublemaker, yep.
No, you're not a troublemaker.
So she said it more. So I was saying the tags, the title, the searchability, and there's also the luck of the draw of YouTube picking you up and putting you on the, getting you pushing your video. I mean, there's just, no matter how good you do, no matter how wonderful it is, it's still, there's some chance and some things you can't affect. And eventually they'll all hit at one time and you can get started. But giving up is not, you got to keep at it and keep learning and keep working it.
That is true.
Scott, you're muted.
Desert Adventures is right. We've got our camera and we're just capturing things, what we happen to see. I'm editing one right now that'll come out in about 3 or 4 weeks. And I'm trying some new things. Like Donovan's saying, there's a specific technique that I'm trying on this one, and it's taken forever. But I'm really pleased with how it's going. But it's one of those where I just captured the stuff and now I'm trying to put it together. And when you're able to plan it out, it sure is a whole lot easier and it comes together easier. But I mean, just like Desert Adventures in Arizona is saying, I just filmed the event and now I'm trying to put it together and make a story out of it. It's tough.
Is it a green screen?
That green screen video is awesome, Donovan.
Leave my crystal pineapple alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, if you're having difficulty with green screen, go on over to the RV on the Wayside, watch his green screen video. Get on over there. You guys are making, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Tell me.
So it starts out, and my intro is where I'd lost 20%, but then it held on the whole way to the end. It's my first video that everybody stayed all the way through the end. And I was hoping it was because of the invisibility cloak and floating things and making people want to stick around. And that objective did work.
It's because your thumbnail and your title make a promise on what you're going to deliver. And you come on and you immediately say, here's what I'm going to tell you. And then you present the information in a not boring way. And then you deliver on the promise. I mean, the 20% that you lost right at the beginning, those are the ones that went, let me see what this is. No, that's not what I'm looking for today. But then 80% that's left, shoot, yeah, great job.
Yeah,
it's because I clicked off because I don't have a green screen, so I didn't need to watch it.
Sure.
All you got to do is hang your shirt behind you. You're good to go.
And 20% is not bad. You lose 20%. That's not bad.
No, I've never seen that before. So.
80%, that's awesome. 60,
Whatever. If you can hold 50% all the way to the end of your video, holy cow.
Oh, yeah. I read something the other day. It said if you can hold 50%, it's awesome. You've kept them there long enough. And the other 50%, they went away for other reasons.
I just figured from now on I'll do the intro and that'll be the end, and I'll have 100% for the whole thing.
Y'all, I put out a new channel intro like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it's 66 seconds long. I've got like a 97% retention rate on that video.
It was great.
I can hold their attention for a minute.
Way to show me how to do an intro video. Bravo.
Oh, if only I was in control at this point.
Oh, and
how would it go, Dave?
You had said something earlier, Donovan. Oh, go ahead. Finish your comment.
Welcome to the McGuire's on Tires YouTube channel.
Yes.
Did he blow a kiss? Did he blow a kiss?
What? Who?
Was that a kiss? Oh.
No.
Oh. Are we still live?
We are, since I'm still driving.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that, you should go on over to his channel and check that out on Monday night at 8:00. The McGuire's on Tires, Scott and his family, and occasionally Chloe shows up.
We give away free stuff.
And check it out. With
silly string, and they do all kind of crazy stuff.
What were you going to say, Steve?
Earlier you said about mini stories, little stories. So an overall story, you're going to have little events that happen throughout the story, and I think those are little hooks, little things that keep the story moving. So I think those are important. And, if you can put emotion into them, I think it makes the whole story, the story arc, if you will, that more, I was going to say that more better, but that's Southern, so I'm not going to say that.
So one of the cool tricks about that is if you've got a long footage and you've got a couple scenes in there that can make a story, continuity wise, if they need to be all together, just hit those couple scenes and it's a mini story. But if continuity is not a problem, and I mean time sequencing, you can do a little bit here, hit a little bit here, hit a little bit here, and then you've got people waiting for the next piece of that because they know it's coming now because that's what they expect from you. So don't think of a mini story has to be all at once. You can break it up into pieces. It all depends on how it goes, and it can be from raw footage. Just look for those. You probably have them and never thought to use it before. Sorry, we got like 3 minutes left, Dave. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, sorry, Dave. I think he dropped his gummy bear.
My gummy bear? What does that got to do with anything?
I thought.
Oh, I feel bad. He's still left out. Hang on.
Hey, thank you. That makes me feel so much better.
Yeah.
Spinning on the ones and twos. Real quick. So on the RV content creator group, somebody was just putting their tips on how they better organize for their editing and whatnot. And I learned something. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to learn more about this. But they talked about adding an adjustment layer for color grading. I have been getting more and more into color grading to make the colors pop a little bit better on the video. And it's a lot of work. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my goodness, I got to go through and I save it, but then I got to go and apply it on each one of these video clips. And this person had put in there that you could do that as an adjustment layer to the whole line. And I was like, that's brilliant. So there is so much out there. And I know that's in Adobe that I'm using that, but I'm willing to bet that there are things just like that in the other editing softwares that can help you speed up how you are editing your videos. And I'm just freaking out here because my laptop is not charging and I don't know why.
Well, you got 2 seconds.
Hey guys,
go ahead and do the outro and we'll just laugh at you.
Well, okay. Well, let's just bring up the fact that next week this will be on RV on the Wayside. Is that correct, Donovan?
I guess
your host. Yeah, you better start getting ready. I know you're going to put like 72 hours worth of work into your show because you are a hard-working live stream video producer.
I'm just doing
so
10 seconds
be
to get my 100%.
Show. Okay. But that is next week. And of course, if anybody has got videos that they would like to send to us, if you could send an email to vidliftinfo@gmail.com, let us know what video you would like to take a look at. And we would love to have you on the show so that we can, we need more content. We're still waiting on that golden turd for someone to send us so that we can review it and just get a couple good chuckles out of reviewing the golden turd.
I'm sorry, we got a question. Does anyone know why comments disappear in YouTube Studio when Kenneth Oakes tries to respond to them? I don't have an answer for that.
I had a problem with my comments disappearing.
Me too.
And YouTube knows it. They're looking at it. They're trying to fix it. And in that group that has responded to these emails that I'm a part of, they're looking for examples of how that happens and when it happens, which is a pain in the butt.
Turtle.
I think that could be related to the people that are leaving the comments might be marked as spammers. I have had a few of my regular commenters that put too many emojis in their comments. I see the notification that they left a comment, but it's not showing up because YouTube is doing me the favor of getting the spammers out of there. And it's like, that person's not a spammer. So, all right, well, we need to wrap this up. Let's go ahead and roll that beautiful outro footage. Y'all have a lovely week, and we'll see you next week on RV on the Wayside.
Bye. Oh, geez.
Come on!